3, 2, 1, we're rolling.
Hi, this is Chris Pugh coming to you with another edition of the Lost Souls process. And today I'm here with Demetrius Williams, which is a good friend of mine that I've known 18 plus years. And he kind of has a lot of common with the principles and the steps that we're trying to provide for the Lost Souls movement and redefining oneself. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce Demetrius Williams. He's the owner, creator of G Hustle Wear, Grind Hard, Sleep Less. So with that being said, Demetrius Williams.
Thank you for having me.
Cool.
So you want to talk about like?
Well, let me ask. Okay, Demetrius, could you explain? Because you're gonna chop this all up.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's going to be chopped up.
Okay. Demetrius, could you explain how you started the process of self-entrepreneurship versus what you were doing prior to you starting your own enterprises and businesses?
For me, the first process was knowing the value of myself. At that point, when I first initially to want to become an entrepreneur, I didn't have a lot of self-esteem on me accomplishing that goal because I was doing what everybody else was doing, 9 to 5, getting up, going to work, blase. But I knew it was more in life that I wanted to do because I seen this guy that I was going to work for 5 days a week, 12 hours a day or whatever. I seen him successful and I'm like, what's the difference from that guy and myself? And I learned the first thing was the confidence of knowing that you could accomplish whatever you put your mind to. And once I got that out the way, then I was trying to do some research on, okay, so I have the confidence, I know I could do or accomplish anything I want to do when I put my mind to it. What do I want to accomplish? What business I want to open? And that took some years of trying to figure out what I wanted to do because first I looked into real estate and I looked at different situations, but it didn't fit the mold of who I initially or who I am. But once I figured out what I wanted to do and I started to learn that it was music. So I entered myself in the music business by being a DJ. And then me being a DJ turned from me managing an artist. And that was my first journey of being an entrepreneur.
What was your left for dead moment that sparked something in you that let you know that okay, I'm greater than what it appears. I want more, but what was the moment that when you realized it's now or never?
That came right before I met you, going back to that 9 to 5 job I was working. It was just enough to pay the bills, and I don't have no money, and I'm always upset because I don't have any money, type of thing. So the way my mother and my grandmother raised me is they raised me as to be a strong person. And at that point, I wasn't strong, I was weak because I'm allowing this man to tell me when to go to work, when to go to break, and repercussions if I don't follow his laws.
Right.
So why can't I make my own laws? So once I figured out that I can make my own laws and live by making my own laws, that's when I decided to make a change. But that was my broken moment when me being dictated by another man.
What about any personal obstacles that you knew you had to overcome, or that you knew was a barrier for you to become successful? What were, how did you deal with those, identifying those personal obstacles and overcoming them?
That is like a complex answer. Uh, it was
Like I always say, we all have vices,
right,
and it's those vices that are limiting us from being the best we can be.
right,
And a lot of times we're using those vices to escape something.
right,
Everybody has different vices.
right.
So what were your vices that, that helped you, that dumbed you down?
It was, for me, it was lack of knowledge, lack of not knowing how money worked, not knowing how to implement a process to be successful. So it still goes back to lack of knowledge. Mm-hmm. But once I acquired the knowledge of whatever craft that I decided to do, that what gave me the power to uplift myself to strive to do better things.
Mm-hmm. So give us an idea of the steps from where when you gain the confidence,
Mm-hmm.
you gain the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Give us an idea of the steps taken from attainment of the knowledge to where we are today, to where you are today as a businessman.
That was pretty simple. Once you believe in yourself and then you acquire the knowledge of the craft or whatever you're trying to do, perfect the craft or whatever you're trying to do, then after that is the process of getting into whatever vehicle, whatever craft that you're doing and just go. You might not have all your ducks in a row, because I didn't. I probably had 2 ducks. And the rest of the ducks I acquired on the journey. So to get to that next level, to get to that next checkpoint, you have to get motivated. That's the best word I could use. You have to motivate yourself. And like I said, you might not have everything in perfect scenarios, but you will learn through the journey to whatever ducks you don't have or whatever you don't know. You acquire that knowledge on the journey. So you have to get into whatever vehicle that you decide to work.
So once you found your vehicle, because I guess the answer I'm trying to receive is, okay, once I obtained the knowledge, had the confidence, this is the first thing I did. I went, bam. Then from that, I did this. Step 3 was, kind of explaining how you went from obtaining the confidence and knowledge to becoming a music manager.
Okay. For me, once I acquired the knowledge or whatever, then I had to put my money where my mouth was at. Mm-hmm. So I had about $800 left in my bank account, and my rent was due like 2 weeks prior of this decision I was about to make. Mm-hmm. So I took every bit of money out that bank account. I went to Guitar Center and I bought $800 worth of DJ equipment. And I know DJs that's going to see this are like, man, $800, that's nothing. That's one turntable. Right. I know, it's a process. So I started with the least expensive DJ equipment stuff. And then once I started getting income coming in from me DJing, then I upgraded when my bank account allowed me to upgrade it. But me not having the name brand top-notch DJ equipment didn't stop my drive, because I knew that eventually if I keep grinding, grind hard, sleep less, if I keep grinding, I know that I could obtain those expensive or upgraded equipment of being a DJ. So once I went to Guitar Center and I paid for the stuff and I took it home, it was super overwhelming, because I'm like, all right, now I have zero amount of money in my bank account. My rent is due in like 2 weeks. What am I going to do? Mm-hmm. I pushed those doubts, because you're going to have those doubts as entrepreneurs, like I should do this or I shouldn't do that. You're going to have those doubts because you are your worst enemy. You have to push those doubts to the side and refocus on what you're trying to do, what the goals that you placed on this sheet of paper that you're trying to accomplish. Focus on those things. And for me, I just started practicing. And then once I started practicing, started getting better. And then I started doing gigs for people, and then gigs are opportunities or doing parties or doing teen shows or whatever the situation might be. So I didn't limit myself and say, yeah, I'm just going to do club dates. No, whoever needed a DJ, if they had the money to pay for my service, I was there. So from that point, I built a name up in Raleigh as DJ Dreads, and then everybody was trying to link up with me because I always had like a great response from for the patrons or the audience. And they started Googling me, and then I started getting gigs, and then I got a contract to Durham City and Rec to do their teen parties. So then that escalated from there, and then that's how I became a judge at this DJ competition, not DJ, but a rap competition. And then I seen another guy that was being a dope MC. I thought that what I was doing and what he was doing, we could come together and become a team, and that's what happened.
So explain to us how you went from DJ, you identifying a local rapper with potential, thought y'all make a good team. How did that come about? Like, what was your interactions when you approached the guy? Because I knew you and this individual, you know, had a prosperous run together as a music entity. Kind of give us an idea of how it went from the initial introduction to now because you guys signed with a label.
Yeah, Capitol Records.
Yeah. So walk us up to that step.
That's a crazy situation. So when I seen him at this performance, he didn't win, and but I knew that he had a special talent. And so after the event, I went up to him and I was like, "Yo, man, I know you didn't win, but yo, don't give up, man. You have what it takes to take it to the next level." But he wasn't trying to hear me in that situation because he just lost. So I gave him my business card, and he didn't call me right away. It was about a week and a half, and then he had finally called me. And then once he called me, we set up a meeting, and then I told him what I could do to help his situation, what avenues that I could bring to the table. And we both decided like we was going to join together and see what we could do in this situation. So once that happened, I gave him a contract, he signed the contract, and then we started working. He was making music in the studio, and we started doing videos. And then by that, and we had like a strong following because he was very strong on social media. He had a real strong Facebook page. He had a real strong Twitter page. So he was really engaged into his audience. And by him being engaged into his audience, it just made the movement bigger and bigger. And then we released one of our videos, Still Undefeated, and an independent record label out of Atlanta, Georgia, seen the video. And once they seen the video, they contacted us, asked did we want to have a meeting with them. So of course we took the meeting. We went to Atlanta. They showed us what they could bring to the table, and they had a direct connect to Capitol Records. So before we even signed with them, though, they shot some videos and showed us what they could bring to the table. So they did some things, and it made the movement even bigger. So it was a no-brainer at that particular point to connect with these guys. So by connecting with them, then we had unlimited resources with Capitol Records because they had a